Hi. Some read mystery novels for relaxation. So do I. I occasionally even write them. But over my afternoon coffee, I often like to read insider buying and selling reports. Why? Because the best of them often read like detective stories, where the biggest mystery is the motive. Why are the insiders buying? The answer is usually found by sleuthing the insiders and the company behind them and the story behind both. Now, which insiders buying report do I prefer to read? The second best are reports of buying by insiders who in the past have shown a knack for buying and selling at just the right moment. That's the savvy insiders. Following these is much better than following other insiders because, as I told you before, not all insiders of corporations are equally good at knowing when to buy and sell their own stocks. After all, if they did, they'd become money managers, no? Still, insiders know more about their own companies than both you and me combined. So I'm always on the lookout for reports about what they do, especially the savvy ones. These, as I said, are the second best insider buying report to read over coffee. But wait, I can hear you say, why only second best? What's first best? The best insider reports are of cluster buys. What are these? These are massive buying by more than one insider, more than two, often more than five, all of them buying their own stocks in big amounts. When many insiders buy all together in a cluster and keep on buying, I pay special attention, and so should you. It's like all witnesses in a murder mystery pointing to the same suspect while betting with their own money that he's the one that did it. Now mind, cluster buys can have both prescient buyers, savvy ones who know exactly when to buy, and also run-of-the-mill insiders who buy too early but still are right about the stock. So timing of cluster buys is not always accurate. But when you consider insider clusters, they are like an internal jury that says our company stock is cheap and here's our money betting on it. So which company am I fingering today? The company is VF Corporation, simple VFC. It is in the clothing business, mostly brand name clothes. So what's the mystery here? Well, VFC insiders have thought the stock was cheap as far back as 2022, when the stock was double what it is today, and then its price was cut in half. So here's the mystery. Even as the stock price was half, insiders kept on buying and buying and buying. And recently, there was a veritable cluster of such buys. No less than 8 insiders, including the CEO, the CFO, and several directors, the whole crew of the company. Even as the stock kept falling, they kept buying. But why did the stock price fall over the last 2 years? Well, VF Corporation made an acquisition of another fashion brands company called Supreme at $2.1 billion, financed partly with debt, which didn't work out as expected. In retrospect, VF paid too much, and some of the brands it bought were not worth what they paid for them, so the stock fell. However, then a good thing happened for a change. The stock's fall attracted the attention of an activist investor named Engage Capital, one of whose principal, Carolyn Brown, has long experience in the fashion clothing industry. LVMH, Donna Karan, Giorgio Armani, she's been there, she's done it. More importantly, she has a proven track record, not just as executive managing a run-of-the-mill business, but also as an operator who turned around, focused, and fixed brand that screwed up. That's just the ticket for what VFC needs. With such fashion talent on board, Engage Capital bought a chunk of VF stock, about 1% of the company, and made proposals to management to sell brands, focus the company, and in turn make the stock go up. Can they succeed? Or would VF management try to fend them off? Well, here comes the second good thing that happened. VF not only did not fight the activist, but they kept their ego in check and brought the activist on board. In fact, one of VF's founding family members, 50% of the stock, supported the activist joining. So that's perhaps the answer to the mystery why insiders kept buying. Apparently, they are all fairly sure the turnaround will succeed. The CEO himself added recently about $1 million worth of stock on top of what he had before. But what makes them so sure success is near? I have some clues, but I'd rather you got them yourself. I'd only say that the basis of all strategy is focus. You can't shoot in 100 directions or manage 100 brands. You got to focus on the few best ones and either sell or close down the rest. A portfolio of brands, like a portfolio of stocks, if you have too many of them, 100 or 200, you will perform just like the index. You have to focus on the best one, sleuth the hell out of them until you know them thoroughly, and get the hell out of the rest. Is this what Ms. Brown proposed to do? I won't tell you. You've got to sleuth it yourself. But just to get you started and interested, here are some relevant numbers. Last insider's buy early this year was at $15.70. The stock is already higher at $17.15. It also has a dividend with a yield of more than 5%, which is rare in such large companies. Now, do they have enough cash to cover it? Well, free cash flow is $1 billion a year, which on enterprise value of $12 billion is 8% free cash flow yield. Broke they are not. And yes, debt is high after the acquisition. For market cap of $6.4 billion, the enterprise value EV is $12.8 billion. That is $6 billion in debt. But can the debt be serviced? Look at the operating cash flow. It's high at $1.3 billion, which seems sufficient. And if the activists manage to force VF to sell some brands, the debt might even be reduced more than the cash flow is. Now, which brands can be sold? Well, Timberland, Dickies, and even the North Face. They all may be on the block, while VF focuses on the remaining brands. As I said, focus is the crux of all strategy, whether in business or in war. To cut to the chase, how high can the stock go if the turnaround succeeds? Well, don't forget can also fall further. But all-time high was 86, which is 5 times the current price. 5 times. If it gets again to all-time high, it will be a 5-bagger. Not shabby for a dividend payer, is it? But can it get there again? This I, of course, can't tell you. Engaged Capital certainly is confident the stock has potential, although they never said how much. And so are the cluster buyer insiders, all of them heavy buyers. Or maybe they are all wrong? That's, of course, possible. The only one to find out is put on your gumshoes and your most charming manner and go sleuthing. The answer may soon become clear to you, but you'll have to dig for it. Getting multi-bagger stocks is not for the lazy bones. And one last point. VFC stock has a fairly hefty market capitalization of $6 billion. That is, it's a fairly large cap. So if the stock starts going up, mega funds who run billions of other people's money, OPM, can buy lots of it, which may help it go up too. But will it? We'll revisit the stock in a year and see. That's all for today. If you like the above, please subscribe to the channel and tell all your friends and subscribers who they'll subscribe to. And go get my books, The Sleuth Investor, The Advanced Sleuth Investor, to see how to go about sleuthing such cluster buys. I'll see you next time, and meantime, thank you very much for watching.